means that no matter who she is facing, even if it is a noble and stunningly beautiful woman like Lovia, she will not think that she should lose to the other party. No one can stop her from doing whatever she wants. The reason she failed to win over Perseus before was simply because she didn't really like him that much. But Andre, she really liked him. She had never felt such excitement before, nor had she ever felt such a strong desire to win him over. Andy, what's wrong? Aesop frowned with concern, continuing his offensive. It's nothing. Andre gradually came back to his senses. Oh, Aesop seemed thoughtful. She kept a close eye on Andre's expression and noticed that he seemed to be struggling with something, glancing at her every now and then, looking like he wanted to say something but hesitated. Andy, ask me anything you want. I'll answer everything I know. Aesop smiled. Aesop, your name is Aesop, right? Andre turned around and looked at her very seriously. Lovia's eyes widened in surprise. Yes, Aesop is my name. Aesop nodded with a smile. Am I really too cold-hearted? Andre asked, his eyes filled with complex emotions. Will I really scare people? Lovia looked at Andre in disbelief. She had never imagined that one day she would hear this crown prince, who was even more arrogant than her, say something that sounded like self-reflection. Aesop was also a little surprised, but a smile quickly returned to his face. Actually, it's not so bad. I know you just seem cold and indifferent, but your heart is actually warmer and softer than most people's. Andre was deeply shaken once again. He was surprised to find that someone knew him so well, and that he was meeting this person for the first time today. He really is a person who is cold on the outside, but warm on the inside, but no one has ever been able to discover it. If only Ivisa could have found out too. He thought bitterly, feeling a deep sense of regret. Andy, judging from your expression, it seems you've been deeply preoccupied with someone. Aesop asked seriously, is it because of this person that you're always so troubled? Andre's feelings for Ivisa had always been a secret hidden deep in his heart. He never thought of confiding in anyone, only wanting to marry Ivisa and have children one day, and then slowly tell her about them over the long years to come. But now it seems that day is far away, or perhaps it will never come. His suppressed emotions had reached their limit, causing his heart to ache constantly. Would it make me feel better if I could tell someone? He couldn't help but think. He glanced at Lovia and Alice, then looked at Aesop, hesitated for a long time, and finally sighed softly, but with a sense of relief. Let's find a quiet place to talk, Andre said expressionlessly. I guess you'd like to talk to me too. You guessed perfectly, Aesop said with a beaming smile. The two of them stood up at the same time, which startled Lovia. When Perseus comes out, tell him to come find me over there. Andre glanced at Lovia and said in a cold voice. Yes. Lovia replied with extreme reluctance. Alice, don't you dare sneak over here and eavesdrop, Aesop said with a grin. TCH, who's eavesdropping? Alice scoffed. Then she stared blankly at the door of the house. Ah, Lord Bayan. Perseus's plan still has a long way to go before it can be realized. Chapter 195 provides the answer. Inside the room, Bayan finally made his move. He raised his hand and gently slapped Perseus across the face, instantly clearing the latter's eyes and giving him a pure and innocent beauty. Perseus was shocked. It wasn't that he was shocked that Bayan actually hit him. Anyone would have hit him for saying those things. Instead, they were shocked. Not only did Bayan and Ivisa look exactly alike, but the feeling of being slapped was also exactly the same. What exactly are you thinking? Bayan asked calmly. I just want to know if you're a man or a woman. Perseus, who had been hit, looked a little aggrieved. A normal person who wants to know if someone is male or female will ask directly, rather than asking them to take off their clothes. That seems to be true. Perseus suddenly realized why he didn't try asking directly. Is he not a normal person? How is that possible? Perseus nodded. Are you a man or a woman? You really want to know? Bayan asked. Yes. Perseus's eyes lit up. If I don't tell you, will you be worried to death? Meeting. I'll just let you worry to death. Bayan turned her head away. Ivisa does this when she's angry or feels uncomfortable. Perseus understood perfectly. Anyone would have been angry after hearing what he just said, and the fact that he was still breathing meant that people were already being very tolerant of him. Just like how Ivisa, no matter how angry she is, will only slap him, and it won't hurt at all. With her abilities, even if she couldn't kill him directly because of the slave mark, she would have many ways to make him feel extreme pain. Now that she doesn't even slap him anymore, he feels a little nostalgic. However, Bayan was not Ivisa after all, and it was not even clear whether he was male or female. Therefore, he could not use the same methods he had used on Ivisa or on beautiful women, and could only look for other ways. After thinking for a moment, Perseus decided to take the plunge. You should tell me, because it involves something very important. What is it? Bayan asked. If you were a girl, I would like to marry you, Perseus said sincerely. He was indeed very sincere. If Bayan were a woman, with a face that could rival the most beautiful woman in the world, who wouldn't want to marry her? Even among men, there are plenty of men who are willing to do it reluctantly. What if I were a man? Bayan glanced at him sideways. Wouldn't that be even better? Perseus smiled wickedly. Bayan was stunned, and the look in his eyes became extremely strange and creepy. Perseus couldn't help but feel uneasy. He just wanted to make the other person laugh. He didn't actually want to marry the man. If Bayan were a man and truly fell in love, this room would become his hell. Perseus has already begun planning his escape route. If all else fails, he will risk his life to preserve his precious chastity. Hopefully, things won't get that bad. You like men? Bayan asked. Perseus remained silent. Emotionally, he did want to express a negative attitude, then laughed and said, I was just joking, little brother. Don't take it seriously. But if he just said those things and then quickly denies them, wouldn't that be the same as lying and deceiving people? Even worse, is it deceiving someone's feelings? The opponent is a 7th-tier mage, a ruthless character who could kill him with a flick of his finger. Deceiving the feelings of this kind of person comes at a heavy price. Perseus was thus put in a difficult situation. Should I stick to my principles, or is my life more important? This is a problem. Why aren't you answering my question? Bayan frowned slightly. Cold sweat broke out, but Perseus still dared not give a hasty reply. It seems you won't speak unless I teach you a lesson, Bayan said thoughtfully. I like women. I only like women. Perseus shouted with all his might, but I didn't mean any disrespect to you. I was just testing you. Cut out my tongue or chop off my fingers. Do whatever you want. Please at least spare my life. My child isn't even born yet. He was on the verge of tears, overwhelmed with sadness and despair in every sense of the word. He'll never dare to be a jerk again. If there's a next time. Bayan just watched him silently, her expression unreadable. You have a child? Bayan asked. No. So you're saying the child hasn't been born yet? It's true that it hasn't been born yet. Perseus scratched his head, because it doesn't even exist yet. Bayan fell silent again. Perseus watched him with trepidation, waiting for Bayan's reaction, ready to run away at any moment. You can leave now. I won't hit you anymore, Bayan said. So his life is saved? Perseus was relieved, but did not want to accept this kindness, because he could not leave yet. How can we leave before we've even figured things out? This problem has been bothering him for a very long time, and if he can't figure out right away, it will be worse than killing him. However, if they stubbornly refuse to leave, they might anger Bayan and cause him to do something that is not very rational. Perseus's mind raced, and before White Flame could lose his patience, he finally remembered that matter. Have you been looking for something? Perseus asked with a smile. Bayan was taken aback, then slowly nodded. I've been looking for a long time, but haven't been able to find it. If it were me, I would have given up long ago. Perseus sighed. I also advise you not to waste your time. If you can't find it, just give up. There are many interesting things in this world. There's no need to fixate on just one. No. Bayan suddenly became agitated, her eyes shining with an alarming light. I have to find it. Perseus nodded. I acknowledge your persistence, but if you continue searching aimlessly on your own, the outcome is unlikely to change much. Whether you admit it or not, you need help from others. You can't help me, Bayan said softly. How did you know? Because, Bayan looked bewildered. Because even I don't know what I'm looking for. Perseus chuckled. If that's the case, then what you're looking for is right in front of you, and you don't even realize it's what you're looking for? No wonder you can't find it. How could you possibly find it like this? Bayan nodded. Then what should I do? Obviously. Perseus shrugged. Instead of continuing to search aimlessly, you must first figure out what exactly you are looking for. You're absolutely right. A complex light flashed in Bayan's eyes. What I'm best at is figuring out what other people are thinking, Perseus said. If you have even the slightest recollection of something, I can help you find it. Of course, even if you have absolutely no recollection, it's not impossible. It just takes a little longer. You should understand what I mean, right? The White Flame nodded. I'd be happy to help you. I ask for nothing more than to know your gender, Perseus said calmly. Of course, I'll help you even if you don't tell me. Then I won't tell you. Good. Female. Good. Perseus suppressed his excitement, maintaining a calm and collected demeanor, pretending not to notice Miss White Flame's nervousness and unease. Chapter 1, 96 Mind Reading? Although they finally learned what they most wanted to know, only a small corner of Miss Bayan's mysterious veil had been lifted. Everything about her was still shrouded in mystery, awaiting more active and arduous exploration. Miss Bayan, where do you live? Perseus asked. It's your parents' home, the place where you were born and raised. I have no parents, Bayan said softly. Well, that's not surprising. Maybe I have parents, but I don't know who they are, what they look like, or where they are, Bayan said again. Her tone carried a hint of elusive expectation, as if she longed to have parents like ordinary people, to be cared for and loved by them. Have you lost your memory? Perseus asked. Probably, Bayan said. I only remember what happened in the last 2 years. I have no recollection of anything before that. I only vaguely remember that I was looking for something. I have to find it no matter what. Her gaze deepened, and her words became resolute. In your earliest memory, where were you? Perseus asked. Bayan thought for a moment, then said with great difficulty, in a forest outside Eagle Peak City. Excuse me, were you wearing clothes at that time? Perseus asked. This is indeed an ambiguous question, but it's worth asking. He had reason to suspect that the White Flame was likely the Holy Spirit. Like monsters, their life forms naturally nurtured by this world due to many factors. Such a life, of course, cannot have the same parents or the same upbringing as ordinary people. She may have been born just 2 years ago. It's not that she doesn't remember everything before that, but that it simply didn't exist. Her obsession with finding something actually stems from an obsession that originated from someone else. When the Holy Spirit was first born, he was just like an infant, ignorant and unaware. His understanding of himself came entirely from learning, rather than knowing who he was, what he could do, or what he should do from birth. I don't remember, Bayan said. Perseus was disappointed and puzzled. You don't even remember if you're wearing clothes or not. This seems like what? Bayan asked. No, it's nothing. Perseus simply changed the subject. You appeared in a forest, and then what? Who did you meet? I didn't meet anyone, Bayan said. So how did you become an adventurer? Perseus asked again. I don't know where I learned some information, but that being an adventurer can earn money to support yourself and also allow you to go to places that ordinary people can't go to, where there might be something I'm looking for, Bayan said. So I became an adventurer and have been doing it ever since. Perseus's disappointment was almost visible on his face. The crucial information wasn't mentioned at all. Where you get your information is very important. You really didn't meet anyone? Perseus asked, unwilling to give up, but he acted naturally. That person may have been a good person or a bad person, but he was the first person you remember interacting with. He should have left a deep impression on you. You may have forgotten him a little, but if you think about it carefully, you should still be able to remember him. Under his guidance, Bayan began to ponder deeply. Perseus didn't bother her at all, letting her think for as long as she wanted, as long as she was willing to answer his questions. No. After a long silence, Bayan said with certainty. Excluding the possibility that she has an unstable memory or is lying, the only thing Perseus can think of is that she knows the information that the other person knows without communicating with them. That is, a kind of mind-reading ability. Pasha was greatly shocked. The ability to read minds may seem unremarkable among the cheat codes in online novels, but in terms of its bizarre and outlandish nature, it is actually far more powerful than those flashy and impressive abilities. As far as he knew, even a 7th-tier light mage or dark mage couldn't read minds. How could someone with even greater power appear at this stage? Do you know what I'm thinking right now? Perseus asked casually. Have no idea. Do you know what those guys outside are thinking? Perseus asked again, his breath almost stopping in his throat with tension. I know, Bayan said. Perseus's heart pounded. Can you tell me separately what they're thinking? That woman named Lovia is thinking about how to kill you. This Perseus is obvious without even thinking. That woman named Alice is also thinking about how to kill you. Why? Because I'm willing to spend time alone with you. It makes her very jealous. Oh, whatever. Where are the other two? That woman named Aesop is thinking about how to deceive the man she's talking to.